All right, everybody. Let's talk about upper and lower fences today. Um, the upper and lower fences are designed for basically kicking data out that isn't exactly useful. And it's going along with the box and whisker plot. So that kind of transcends or corresponds with what we're trying to do with that. So we'll start out with just the vocab stuff. This is pretty basic definition. We'll start with the IQR. That's what we've been doing. Remember, that is Q3 minus Q1. The matching definition from that obviously is B. And now we basically get into some of the other things. We have an outlier, a lower fence, and an upper fence. Now, let's talk about a fence, a lower and upper fence first, and then we'll talk about an outlier. So, a fence. Obviously, if you have a fence in your yard, you're stopping things at that point. You might have one if you have a dog or something to keep it from running out of the yard. The upper and lower fence basically is a containment for your min and your max. So some of these data points that we've seen that have been way out in the middle of nowhere, where you have something small, and now something just really big, that's probably going to extend past a fence. And it's the same thing on the other end. So basically it takes away some of these extreme data points. Okay? So the way we do that, a lower fence goes with Q1. So that means, so this goes with Q1. Obviously, which definition up here goes with a Q1? That would be letter A. Oops. Oops. Here we go. The letter A. Obviously, the upper fence, the numbers are greater. That goes with Q3.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Josh. All right, Daddy's taping something. Can you go outside? Thank you. Anyways, so the upper fence goes with Q3, so that would be letter C. So that leaves an outlier with letter D. So let's take a look at what that is. It says a data value that is significantly greater or less than any other values in the data set. So what does that mean? That basically means you have a point that's kind of in the middle of no man's land. There can be more than one. I am going to warn you that. There can be more than one. So, for example, you could have one on the lower end, you could have one on the higher end. Okay? So let's work through some of these problems. So it says calculate the IQR of each given data set. Okay? So it says determine whether there are outliers in each set and list them. So what we need to do here is, first and foremost, let's find our median. Let's find our median. So I'm going to go here. Boom. 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 So our median is 10. So that means now I need to find my Q1. So here, 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 here. I got these two in the middle here. So that's 5 plus 5 over 2. So that's just going to come out to be 5. So Q1 is 5. And then we're going to go on the other side. Here and here, here and here. And I have these two guys, so I have 12 plus 16 over 2. That is going to give me 28. So I have 28 over 2, which is equal to 14. So we're going to reflect that down here. My IQR, remember, we're going to subtract that 14 minus 5. I'll just draw out that little math problem for you. 14 minus 5. And that's going to give me 9. So my IQR is 9. Okay? So here, this gives us the formula for IQR, or for Q1. So that's literally what it is. So it is Q1 minus the IQR times 1.5. So my lower fence, so I'm going to go 5 times, or 5 minus rather, the IQR, which is 9 times 1.5. So basically, I have 5, and so 9 times 1.5 is going to end up being, it's like 13.5. So I have 5 minus 13.5. Which is going to be negative 8.5. Now, I tell you what, if my minimum is 4, that doesn't matter. So the negative 8.5 has absolutely nothing to do with this problem. So we don't even need to worry about it. You can get that where the fence is. Now, let's talk about the upper fence. So here I'm going to go 14 plus 9 times 1.5. So in that instance, we go 14 plus 9 times 1.5. That's going to give me 27.5. So this means the upper fence is 27.5. So what that means is that anything above 27.5, I throw out. Is there anything above 27.5? Well, yes, there is. There's that 30. So if it asks, what's my outlier? It is, yes, it is 30. 30 we throw out, because obviously 30 over 27.5 is less than 30. So that is my outlier. And must be kicked out. Okay? So, like I said, you can have one outlier, you can have two. We'll see what happens. So let's take a look at, this one's going to be kind of interesting. Let's take a look at number 7. Or actually, no, we can look at number 6. Number 6 got a pretty big data spread. Okay, so number 6 has a pretty big data spread, so let's take a look at it. First and foremost, I have to find my median. So I'm going to go 0, 41, boom, 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 boom. And then on my median, I have 2 in the middle, so I'm going to go 21 plus 22 over 2. So my median is 21.5. So I'm going to split that, so 21.5 is the median. I don't have to record it. So now they want to know Q1, so I'm going to go through and do Q1. Boom, 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 boom. And then obviously if we do 16 plus 16 divided by 2, I'm going to get 16. All right. Q3, we're going to go this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, and this way. And then I'm here. So now we have to do a little bit more math. 25 plus 27 over 2. That is going to give me 52 over 2. And that's going to give me 26. Okay, so that's going to equal 26. My IQR, obviously 26 minus 16, that's going to equal 10. So my IQR is 10. My lower fence. is going to be Q1, so it's going to be 16 minus the IQR, which is 10 times 1.5. Well, last time I checked, 10 times 1.5 is 15. So I have 16 minus 15. So my lower fence is 1. Oops, I didn't like how that turned out. The next, Q3. We have 26 plus, and remember 10 times 1.5. And so that's going to be 26 plus 15. And that's going to equal 41. Believe it or not. So that's my upper fence. So that's my cutoff point. So this is first and foremost asking me if I have any outliers. So if I have any numbers less than 1 in this data set, so let's take a look. Any numbers less than 1. Ooh, I see one right there. I see one at 0. 0 is less than 1. So yes. 0. Now, here's the interesting part. 45, or 41, excuse me, falls right on the fence. That's on the fence. So what that means is that if it falls on the fence, it's in. So you would keep this data point. So 41 is not an outlier. Okay, not an outlier. Let's see if we can find one that's got an outlier on both. Okay. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at this one, number 10, and then we're going to try to calculate some stuff graphically that may or may not work. So let's do this one first. This one I think might have them on both ends, but we got to see. So first things first, I have to put these in order. These ones were not put in order, so we were not nice to you here. So we're going to go 15. And then the next one is 20. Then, what's next after 20? We're going to skip all the way to, it looks like 45. And then we have 55 a couple of times. So 55, 55. 60 a couple of times. Then it looks like 65 twice. And then 70 a couple of times. Oh, and I missed 160. There we go. I missed a 60. So let me erase this really quick. Oops. There were 3 60s. 1, 2, 3 of them. Yep. And then 65, it looks like twice. And then 70 twice. Okay. And then it looks like 75. So that's why these are hard. They're a little more difficult. 75. Then it looks like 80. Make sure nothing over here. And then I have 100. Then I have 105. And then I have 115. All right, so we now have everything in order. Got all our numbers crossed out. Let's go through and let's find our median because we can't find. Can't find Q1 with it. So we're gonna go / / 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we have a median here of 65. So that 65 right there is our median. So now we're gonna go through and find Q1 and Q2, or Q3, I mean. Boom, 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 and then I have 55. Obviously, if we add them together, divide by 2, like we've been doing, Q1 is going to be 55. Okay, Q3, same deal. And then that's going to be 77. So 75 plus 80 over 2. So that's the only real math that we have to do today. So that's going to give us 77.5 here. For those of you playing at home. That's going to give us an IQR of 22.5. Okay? So now we're going to go we're going to find that here. So lower fence. Here's how we're going to do this. We're going to go Q1, which is 55. Oops. Minus 22.5 times 1.5. And you guys can put that straight into your calculator, which is what I'm doing right now. And that's going to give me a lower fence of 21.25. Q3, so then I have to go 77.5 plus, and then we're going to go 22.5 times 1.5, and we're going to see what that equals. And that is actually 111.25. So that would be my upper fence. So I have my fences. So now, if I take a look, what exactly is my, do I have outliers? Absolutely I do. I absolutely have outliers. In fact, I even said we can have more than one here. So if I take a look at anything, do we have any numbers less than 21.25? We do. We actually have 15, 20 are less than that. We also have a number greater than 111.25. That's the 115. So these three data points would all be thrown out. Okay? Okay. So let's take a look at this. So it says calculate the IQR data represented in each box and whisker and determine whether there are any outliers in each data set. Well, guys, that is not difficult. It's shown graphically. We're not given a list of numbers, but we could still determine. So here we still have a min and we still have a max, but we have to figure out if they're relevant or not. All right? So relevance-wise, it's going to look. Q1 is right there, so that's going to be at 7, and Q3 is right there, that is 10. When I subtract them, I'm going to get 3. 10 minus 3 is 7. Or 10 minus 7 is 3, excuse me. So now, I'm going to go Q1, which is 7, minus 3 times 1.5. Well, last time I checked, that's 4.5. So I'm going to go 7 minus 4.5. And that's 2.5. Okay? So that's my lower fence. Here I have 10 minus, or 10 plus 3 times 1.5. So that's 10 plus 4.5, which is, 14.5. So we actually, and like I said, this one's kind of an interesting thing, we actually do cut off one of these numbers. We actually cut off the min here because our lower fence is at 2.5. So our lower fence is actually right here. So we're going to say yes, and we are going to cut off 1. 14.5 is greater than 14. Trust me, if someone said, would you rather have $14.50 or $14? I'll take the extra 50 cents. Okay? So hopefully this answers some questions. Ooh, this one's kind of cool. Nah. Anyways, practice this worksheet, guys, the rest of this. There's plenty of examples here. Go through with the notes, and hopefully this will make some more sense. All right? Summative